One cannot help but notice her. Her physique not only demands attention, it borders on intimidating.
When she walks into the room, she pretty much takes that room over.
Her impressive strength is immediately noticeable. Her unstoppable will is almost visible.
I've never seen her in anything that she didn't succeed at.
But then, her softer side quickly shows. Her incredible beauty is undeniable. Her charming charisma is unavoidable. It is then one realizes she is the complete package.
She knew what she wanted. She went out and got it.
And it is then when Medusa gains another fan.
Girls rule, boys drool, right? Yeah.
Medusa's professional life has been an interesting combination of odd jobs. Fast food clerk, nurse, model, singer, kickboxer, wrestler. Her newest passion, monster trucks, is quite fitting, since one of her chaotic freestyle runs perfectly mirrors the events of her life.
She's definitely a full-blooded racer, no doubt about it.
With every soaring high and every crashing low, resembling her existence to a T. She lives like she drives, with a destination in mind. She always takes the most direct route to success.
The more aggressive I got, the better I got at things in life.
Avoiding, climbing, or destroying every obstacle in her way, while never wavering in her quest.
She marches to the beat of a different drum.
The only time Medusa takes her eyes off her goal is to gaze in her rearview mirror and enjoy the carnage in her wake. Deborah Misselli would never forget who she was or where she came from. It's hard to imagine that Medusa's life began the way it did. Born Deborah Misselli in Minneapolis, Minnesota, her uphill battle for love and acceptance began early, before she even left the hospital.
I guess Betty, that's my mother, she did the best she could. I don't have any brothers or sisters. Don't know who my father is. When I was born, she really wasn't ready to have children or anything, and she kind of left me in the hospital, so my grandmother had to go back and pick me up. And that was kind of the start of my life. From there on in, I've always had to overcome all these huge adversities and always had to be a high achiever. And I think it was just to prove to myself that I could become something. Never had that daughter-mother relationship. And not having a father, it's like I've been the mother, the father, the everything in one growing up, showing myself how to do it.
She's gone through so many hardships and so many personal struggles. You know, that's all Medusa knows, is she has to fight to survive and be strong. And, you know, when you don't have the mother and father to make you strong, you have to become strong yourself.
As a child, it was really hard to have friends because I was like this little welfare child with hand-me-down clothes, and it was sad, you know.
In the midst of her lost and directionless childhood, Medusa found comfort in the one person she could always count on, her grandmother, Violet.
She is my hero. I love her. She's an 80-year-old Harley-driving woman, and hopefully I have her genes.
She always wanted Granny to take her here, take her there, which I did. We had lots of rides together. There were times she didn't want to go home because she felt that things weren't going right. That's why my arms were open here for her all the time to come home here, and she spent a lot of time here with me.
I have memories of Grandma always being the rock, her being there. I remember always being put at grandmother's when I wasn't welcomed anywhere else. I remember that being the house that I always felt like home. It was nurture. It was something that I felt comfortable with. And her, she was always a guidance of love and affection, and I think that's where I get all my affection from.
Nothing ever seemed to bother her. She wasn't afraid of anything. That's the way Medusa was.
I always could handle everything, so I thought. I would hang out at my friend's house or just hang out in people's backyards and their dog houses and sleep overnight because I didn't want to go home.
While tough as nails on the outside, inside Medusa was suffering. Something was missing. Something big. Hoping to end her isolation, she took the initiative and found a solution.
I was really a jock. Gymnastics, track and field. I was setting, state records, and wow, that's where I found my niche.
Any good athlete knows that everything that you have to succeed in this world comes from your heart and your passion for whatever you're doing and believing in yourself. And Medusa has all that, and so she'll succeed in everything she does.
It was good. It was healthy. It got me away from all the bad choices that I could have done. I encourage it, sports especially, to kids nowadays, because it helped me.
Organized sports were not the answer to all her problems, especially her difficulties with money. Medusa decided that now was the time to climb out of poverty and into the driver's seat.
I was in and out of school a lot, and I just felt the need that I needed to help at home more. And so I got a job at 14, my first job at Arby's. I got my first car working at Arby's. It was a 318, 3-speed on the column truck.
Medusa in general has a major need for speed, and I think she's an adrenaline junkie. And so any time that speed's involved or danger's involved, I think you'll find Medusa's right there.
I had my truck before I even had my driver's license. I moved out, and I've never been home since.
By her late teens, Medusa had already come a long way, but the emptiness still remained. Unfulfilled, she decided on a new course of action. Medusa would find her next job not only rewarding, but healing as well.
I became a specialty nurse where you help handicapped children and deaf children. I had to learn the sign language and everything, and that was so cool.
I felt that whatever she was going to tackle, she would accomplish it because she was just such a go-getter. She was good at it. I think she likes to be with people because she grew up alone, and I think that has a lot to do with it. She likes to be with people, likes to be around them and talk to them.
I was just, yearning for love, and I got it and gave it to the people and where I worked. It was incredible.
Her steady paychecks gave Medusa security, but her interaction with kids was her true reward. Finally, somewhat content, Medusa had no idea that another life-changing occurrence was just around the corner.
She went to modeling school. And I said, you go to modeling school and I'll help you and I'll pay for that. And she did.
When I met Medusa, she was a nurse and she did modeling. So through her whole career, she's done a little bit of everything. The next time I met her, our son Frank brought her home for the night, only we didn't know about it. They started dating, and one thing led to another, and the next thing I know, the next year they were talking about getting married. She just kind of became the daughter we never had. And she was just a warm, loving person, and we just adored her. They decided they were not going to get married. And so then we thought we'd lost her forever. We lost track of her for a few months, and she kind of came back, and then she's been in our life ever since.
Medusa had finally found the family that she never had. Despite all she had accomplished, she was still suffering, this time from boredom. So Medusa set out looking for yet another challenge and stumbled across her most difficult trial yet.
I had a nice savings account and a car and single woman, loving life. And I made a change. It was something drastic, something I never thought I would do, and that was me.
Her comments have been usually, I used to mend bones, but then she got into the business of breaking them.
I went to this girl named Jenny, which is my girlfriend, and she was at this beach, and she was dating this guy. His name is Kai Michelson, and he's a Hollywood stunt coordinator for motion pictures.
She'd come by and and said hi. Said, got a nice boat, and before you know it, we started the talk, and we became friends.
I was talking to him, and he says, you know, you should be in the entertainment business. You're brassy, you're outgoing, you just got that voice, that appeal. And I'm thinking, you know, being a stunt woman wouldn't be bad.
He says, Kai, you have such an exciting life. He says, I am so bored. I am just so bored. So I'll just right off the bat, I says, so why don't you become a professional wrestler?
I said, you mean those guys that sit there and spit and scream on TV and go, oh? And I said, no. Jenny called me again. He said, please just check it out. He's bugging me. I said, all right. So I hooked up with him. I went to this room, and it was just mats with big old greasy guys and sweaty and picking each other up, flying through the air. And I'm like, I can do that.
Wrestling is a quick way to get fame. If you're a hard worker, if you got the right personality, you'll go a long way in wrestling.
I quit my nursing job, I quit everything, and started pro wrestling. What the hell was I thinking?
She was a natural athlete. And, I mean, she was pretty. And the fact is, I mean, she had just an outgoing personality. So there was only one way she could go, and that would be up.
He introduced me to a local promoter, Eddie Sharkey. Last name Sharkey, hello.
I felt that he owed me a favor, so I just used a little bit of that pull and talked to him about getting Medusa into the business and helping her. And as it turned out, I mean, he took a liking to her right away. You could see that.
I know he wouldn't bring anyone around unless they were an exceptional person. So I took his word for it, and he was right.
He became my promoter.
She had a lot of competition then, but she just trained harder, worked harder than the rest, and went farther.
Eddie said, you know, you're doing so good. I'm going to put you in your first match. I said, cool. So I had to go out and buy boots and have them all made.
Granny got pretty busy making outfits. She would design them, I would make them. I would sit and think about, well, what color should I use? And a lot of times I think, well, patriotic is always nice, the red, white, and blues. So that's what I would come up with a lot of times for her.
Excited and energized, Medusa was ready to dive headfirst onto the independent wrestling scene. But the beginning of her career was far from glamorous.
The independents were like a farm team is for hockey, you know. It's growing, getting yourself better for the big league.
She trained harder, worked harder. She was more devoted. And as the others fell off, she became stronger.
And independence, you got all your nooks and crannies worked out and became a great wrestler, and people noticed you.
Medusa is definitely someone you cannot ignore. You can hear her coming down the hall, and when she enters the room, she just has that certain aura about her. You just have to look at her, and right away you're like, she's got it going on.
I had my first match in a bar in Minnesota. A bar.
Eddie was walking around, oh, I can't believe this, because what it really did was turn into a real knockdown fight. And of course, you know who won.
And I don't know what the heck I was doing. I was green, you know, out there in front of all these people, and I had to pose and become a personality.
Eddie says, that was one of the best darn matches I ever saw.
I made $5, and that was my payoff. My very first match was $5.
Who said I paid her $5? I didn't know I paid her that much. When you start out a new wrestler, you don't start them in big arenas. You start them in very small shows.
When she first started out, it was at high schools. And I can still come home, and then at night and the next day, my voice was hoarse. I couldn't even talk from hollering so much. I thought, boy, this is exciting.
I would have to drive 300 miles in a car of 5 people to split the gas, and then stay in hotels with 5 people and raunchy and sleep on the floor.
Spending 8 hours in a car, then 8 hours home, get in at 6, 7 in the morning, and then get a few hours sleep and get up and work out, and then maybe wrestle again that night. It was a very hard life, and it still is.
The lifestyle of a wrestler is very, very tough, and for anybody. But it's got to be very tough on a female. But she never complained once, and went through it, and she's gone through it for years.
I felt like I was somebody, you know, because I never was anybody as a child. I never was accepted. I thought, this is great. I get to express and become this character that I never was.
She was a pretty lady, outgoing person, and yet she was what we would call the heel. And she played that role pretty good. The fact was she was tough, and I think she really intimidated a lot of her opponents that were out there, just the fact of how strong she really was.
She was the girl that all the women used to hate because she was very pretty, but she was tough.
I was sitting down with Kai, and he says, you need a name. You know, Deborah's not going to cut it. I said, yeah, we need something original. One name like Madonna or like Cher or something powerful, strong, American. And then it just came, Medusa, Madusa, made in the USA. Oh, it was perfect. She was the one you loved to hate, but she got her message across. Don't screw with her.
I looked at this woman with all the snakes coming out of her head and stuff like that. I always thought that she should have her hair done that way. And you know, I was in the film business, special effects business, so I had visions of fire coming out through her hair, out through these snake heads.
She was inspirational in a way. She had this aura about her that when she walked into a room, she could cure things or something, or make everybody feel at ease and have fun.
She is what an all-American girl is all about to me. She has heart, she has drive, she has an attitude that is incredible and that she needs to survive in this world, and to me, that's how I see Medusa.
Medusa had found something she truly loved, but the price was steep. Paying her own way while wrestling had left her broke and practically homeless.
Finally, I depleted my savings, and I lost my apartment, and I was living in my car.
But things started to look up when she received a call from the American Wrestling Association.
I excelled really fast because of my gymnastic background and being such a jock, and so I got a call from AWA, which was Vern Gagne back then. He heard about me on the independent circuit, that like, oh my gosh, here's this upcoming chick, and she's like hot, and the new change and the new era of women's wrestling. Because the women there, you had Moolah and Sherry Martel and all of them, that they still had the old granny bathing suits where they put the old shoestrings on the bottom so they wouldn't move. I came out with, you know, your little, back then it was the nice clear tights and the tea bags, and really huge when I was lifting weights heavy, big bodybuilder, and it was something new. They liked it.
That was a big step for her because she was involved with a lot of the wrestlers that have been around for a long, long time. At a number of times, she was just worked as a manager, and before you know it, they had her as the world champion. And it didn't take long because they saw what her abilities really were.
I continued to work with AWA for a couple years. Became their champion, and my career just bloomed.
Medusa's new style of women's wrestling played well not only in America, but in other parts of the world. As her career began to take off, Medusa was offered a contract to leave the comforts of home and wrestle in Japan.
I went from there to Japan because we were at the Showboat Casino. That's where we had our ESPN tapings. The goal back then in professional wrestling was if you were anybody and you were something and you were good at what you did, you went to Japan, because Japan is it. I mean, they fight, they shoot fight, and you have to really earn your ranks there. All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling, that was the cream of the crop, where that was my goal. I wanted to go when I got really good. They came out and they were doing an American tour with Chigusa Nagoya, and she was the baddest of the bad. And I remember they never told me that it was a sanctioned match, and all of a sudden she showed up and Vern said, "You're wrestling Chigusa," and I went, "Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. This girl's gonna kill me." I was watching some wrestling tapes, and it was Japanese girls, and I remember how they just overemphasized their faces and their sound and how they were doing some of these moves, and everything just came to my head right away, and I put everything in seconds flat in perspective and go, I'm gonna have to just kick her ass, to survive. So I just did some incredible things. I came off the top rope, which I never did in my career. Don't know where it came from, and just landed on top of her. When the match was all done, the promoters came up to me and said, you are unbelievable for a woman wrestler. They can't wrestle. They just want to look good. I thought, wow, you know, this is my opportunity to clean up women's wrestling and not be just a sideshow.
I remember seeing her in the ring. She was just, she was an unbelievable athlete. I remember, you know, seeing that she fought more like a guy than like a girl.
She's kind of the type of person that works well in a man's world because she can make it work for her. Not a lot of women can do that.
After they asked me to go to Japan for 6 weeks, and I did. And it was first tour ever.
I thought, wow, how come Japan? And then I said, well, how come you're going to go way over there? She says, Grandma, that's where the biggest wrestling is Japan.
I lived over there for 6 weeks and did really well, made some great money. And they asked me if I'd like to stay there for 3 years, the first American ever to have a contract over in Japan in pro wrestling. Did great.
The pro wrestling circuit in Japan is rougher because they hit harder. Well, they get up faster, they work harder. It's a tough place, and if you can make it there, you can make it any place, and she made it there.
She did kickboxing, she learned, she did singing over there. They promoted her very well, and the Japanese people loved her.
Over there, she started singing. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know she could even sing a lick of music, but from what I understand, she was almost like Madonna over there. She actually was a very good singer.
These guys made calendars to dolls to figurines to stickers to, I mean, from way back then, I mean, I had everything you can imagine.
Medusa had gone from living out of her car to becoming a pop icon in Japan. But just as she was preparing to seek success in America, Medusa made an unfortunate decision that would send her all the way back to square one.
Before I came back over to the States, I ran into something that was just horrifying. And it happens to a lot of entertainers. I hired a management team. My accountant called me and said, you know, there's something wrong here with the numbers. You don't have any money in your accounts. I said, oh, okay, really? And he said, no money. I said, oh my God, and my whole life just drained.
She sacrificed a lot, and it hurt to get ripped off.
They just took me to the cleaners. I lost everything.
Medusa returned to America with less money than she had when she had left. A lot less. Once again, deep in debt, the same feelings of helplessness began to return. But Medusa wasn't about to give up.
When life knocks Medusa down, she just dusts herself off, gets up, and basically will punch whatever it is right back in the face.
She's down for maybe 5 minutes and upset and hurt. And then she starts getting mad. And then she uses that negative energy, turns it into positive energy, and then she's on fire. So you better look out, because she's on a warpath, and that's probably the best thing that you could ever do to Medusa is knock her down, because she'll turn that around in a hurry.
3 months later, I got a phone call from WCW, which was kick-ass because I had my first major contract.
WCW was, that was the biggest territory in the world at the time they asked her.
And, you know, just to wrestle and be on TV and look cute.
I met Medusa at a charity function, and being with Medusa was a lot of fun. No 2 days were alike, and something happened every time we were together. We talked about the male domination of the sport often, and it was very, very frustrating for her. And she not only had to fight her way through the politics with a smile, but she also had to fight her way through a men's sport, and in which women weren't necessarily treated so well.
Medusa in the ring was definitely somebody to reckon with. Guys and girls, you know, both that had to wrestle her knew what they were in for. That she was definitely an intimidating personality when she got in the ring, because she had gone over to Japan to wrestle. And when you go over to Japan to wrestle, it's definitely a much tougher style of wrestling over there. And when she brought that back, and you got in the ring with her, she meant business, and everybody knew it.
Medusa was a wild child, but women in that sport hadn't come to fruition yet. So Medusa was very, very unusual, a little bit ahead of her time.
I had to fight that, but I was just happy that I could start paying off my bills and pay off this and that. I thought, this is my time.
When Medusa was wrestling, God, I must have been, and you're gonna kill me for this, I was probably about 10 to 12 years old. I'm 30 now. But she'd bounced around to a couple different promotions, but she was the hottest wrestler. I mean, she was just a female wrestler, of course. So a lot of guys liked watching her because she was just this good-looking girl that was, beating the crap out of other girls and other guys sometimes.
And hey, I excelled from there, and then worked there for 2 years, and I got another contract, and I negotiated that. Being in that business for so long really helped a lot. So when I was in WCW for a couple years, I quit and wanted to do independence for a while. And I did independence for a year because it gave me a sense of reality. What was out there, what's not out there. But it was good, it was a good break.
Early on, Medusa was in control of her own life and her own career, from answering fan mail and to signing autographs, to having her own shirts made. She's always been a wrestler, but also an entrepreneur.
Medusa had survived the independent wrestling scene. She gained unprecedented success in WCW. And now, there is only one place left to conquer: the World Wrestling Federation. She set up a meeting with the one man who could make that happen: WWF owner Vince McMahon.
I spoke to Vince, and Vince put me up there. Had a meeting, and it was great.
He decided he wanted her to change her name from Medusa to Alondra Blaze, which she didn't like that, but she did.
He wanted to buy it, and I said, I can't do that. Just can't do that. I wouldn't want to sell my name. Worked so hard for it, and all them sweat and tears, and no, I'm keeping it. So let's come up with another one. So we did. Vince and I came up with Alondra Blaze for the WWF, and it was good.
It was exciting times. It was very exciting seeing people do that. And not many people could get away with jumping back and forth like she did. She was very good, so she could do it.
She was a wrestler that did a great job building her own brand. And she was very much influenced by her surroundings and by what she saw. She picked up on things very, very quick, but she had relationships, she had boyfriends.
Medusa's very soft on the inside, and having been in professional wrestling, I think they're looking for a very hard-shelled, very probably abrasive girl, but she's very sweet. Very, very sweet. And I think that when people get to know her, they realize that.
Discouraged by her experience in the WWF, Medusa turned her back on the organization. Even though Vince McMahon had released her, she left holding the greatest honor in her sport.
I left, got released, and I was still the WWF Ladies Champion when I left.
Despite being unemployed, Medusa still had her WWF Women's Championship belt. She also had a few friends back in WCW as well. Eric Bischoff knew a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity when he saw one. And once again, he jumped at it.
When I left, Eric Bischoff was smart on the game. He was in his game. He called and said, Deuce, how would you like to come back to work? You're still a ladies champion, right? And I said, yeah, yes I am. I go, why? He goes, I got an idea. So we talked about another contract and what we were going to do. And then he goes, I want you to come in first night on Monday Night Nitro. Come in live. You bring that ladies title for the WWF and you drop it in the trash can. I thought, oh, I'm in trouble.
One of her first nights on WCW Monday Nitro, she dropped the World Wrestling Federation's belt in the garbage can, and it caused a tremendous amount of controversy. When you kind of degrade a belt like that, it made Vince McMahon a little ticked off that she would drop the WWF women's title belt in the garbage. But Medusa was one of the top female wrestlers that there ever was. So, and with all her different titles that she's won, I mean, her credentials speak for themselves.
I was in WCW, being able to pay off my past and debts, and I was feeling good.
To me, wrestling is Medusa, and you do not want to tangle with that girl. I just remember her in that red, white, and blue, and she was tough, and you better be on top of your game when it comes to being face-to-face with Medusa, because if not, you're going to have a really long night.
But something happened. I was wrestling like the guys, and I noticed there that I was being held back. All of a sudden, I wasn't on TV much. You know, all of a sudden, I wasn't doing interviews as much. And hello, I mean, you notice things like that. I was still getting paid the same amount to keep my mouth shut. They kept me there so I wouldn't go nowhere else. But yet, it was something to keep me confined, like they were stifling me. And it was aggravating. Then I noticed the choice of talent that they were hiring in women's wrestling were your physical fitness beauty queens, which were hot to look at. I could turn it on when I wanted to, be a girly girl, but these girls that they were hiring were just beautiful, and I'm thinking, how well can I compete against that?
In wrestling, a lot of times you get the cardboard cutout, you know, the cookie cutter model-looking girl that just walks out to the ring, and I think Medusa was the one who really set the bar high for women that were going to get in the ring and actually be athletic and to be able to have a really, really good match.
And I was starting to put myself down a little, thinking, shoot, my time's almost up. Or it's time to reinvent Medusa again.
She's very smart. She studies everything. She tries to stay one step ahead of the game. And so she's always looking at ways to reinvent herself.
Medusa realized her resistance to the new racy side of wrestling was taking a toll on her career. While she decided between compromising her values or leaving the entertainment business altogether, she received yet another timely offer.
Our initial contact with Medusa came at a time when we were developing our monster truck fleet. It really was in its infancy.
When I received this phone call and had this opportunity, I jumped at it.
We knew Medusa with her background in the entertainment business and the fact that she was known for her her athletic ability. The question was, could she drive a monster truck?
And it was like meant to be.
As it turned out, she was perfect on all counts. She passed every test, and it was clear to us right off the bat that it was going to be a good relationship and that we had made the right call.
I knew right away it's a man's business, and I said, I don't want to be treated any different. You're making a huge transition, a cross-promotion from wrestling into monster truck where it sounds like it needs that facelift. It needed something.
That fearless attitude that she brought allowed her to really progress at a speed that impressed all of us.
I said, I don't want anything different. I don't want to be treated like a fluff girl. I want to get out there and work on the truck and change those tires and get on the road, and well, I got what I asked for.
Here we are, in front of the infamous Digger's Dungeon.
I went out to Kill Devil Hills, and Dennis Anderson trained me, and it was natural. He said, this girl's got it.
There's no mirrors on this thing.
She was good right out of the box, and she just respected my down-to-earth training campaign that I put on, hands-on, and it was in the field, and it was done in the dirt, and it was, to me, it was done right, just like it needed to be.
Don't let off the gas. Don't think about that. You just keep trying to gain a little bit of speed as you're coming through that turn. Just trot it up a little bit faster. Just whoop. And when you get to the ramp where you feel like you're lined up, go on and stand on it. Just whoop.
He's so fair and honest and outspoken, and that's what I like about him. He'll tell you, he'll tell you the truth.
I tell her exactly what she done right, what she done wrong, and I put it to a way in my own lingo that she understood that, and we were serious about it. And once she entrusted in me and she done it my way, she knew that the ride was a lot easier and was more in control. So she gained a lot of respect in that respect, I think.
Like the second day, I could not move. Oh my God. I was laying in bed like this, and I was so sore, I couldn't move my neck, my back, nothing. And to get out of bed, I'd swung my leg over to the wall, push myself out of the bed so I could get up and walk. And finally, it kind of stretched a little bit. Yeah, so I couldn't even move.
Her first time jumping cars and making a boo-boo and running in the corner of my pond at my practice track, that she had it going on. She had throttle rhythm that she didn't even know that she had.
Dennis is a great showman. Dennis is a great driver. He's a great person to look up to. It's kind of like, here's a good example. It's kind of like he's been in this business 20 years. I was in wrestling 17 years. So it's kind of like we got a history of some type of connection.
This is a woman in a man's body. Right? Because listen here, we put through the training course, I actually made her do stuff that I would never make anybody else do, just for a little test to see if she was going to make it.
We hit it off, and we got along real well like brother and sister.
We made her do some violent stuff that she don't really know about.
Oh, I heard about it. Now you're laughing. And there's Dennis in the background going.
Right. She actually done good because we kind of want to beat the woman up like, this is a man's job.
They didn't want me in it.
There's so much respect for the man. He's been through a lot.
She does respect me for quite a few things.
Oh, no, this is my sport. This is my sport. And no woman, oh my gosh, no woman's going to come into my sport. But here I am, baby.
That's right.
See, even women. Well, thank you.
Medusa and I have a bond with monster trucks and in training. She had to listen, and she actually caught on very quick.
He just has that personality that you like.
She's a motorhead. She's a gearhead. She loves big, loud stuff, and she loves showing off in front of the fans with a great big truck.
Having survived Dennis Anderson's grueling training schedule, Medusa was finally ready to make her monster truck debut. As the new millennium began, so did Medusa's brand new career as a monster truck driver.
It was really a good feeling when Medusa rolled off of the training track out in front of the audience in one of her first big domes. She's a great driver, and it makes me proud that I was a part of making her who she is.
When they asked me to come over and it worked, they were surprised because they didn't expect anything more after a year. And I had the feeling that they would expect that. But I showed them, being a woman in a man's business, it's like, you have to prove yourself harder. Or you have to let them know you're not just eye candy.
Medusa's a survivor because she has to be a survivor. That's what she's learned, to survive, and she has to be, whether she wants to be or not.
I'll tell you, the lady won't quit. The truck is broke, but she won't quit.
To be honest, I just fell into this sport. And I know that the guys kind of look at me now with respect.
She wants to earn the respect of the other drivers, especially the men drivers. She is so competitive that a lot of times she'll run it a little more on a ragged edge than she should, but that just comes from wanting to win.
Oh! Oh! Look at her ride it! Look at her ride it!
At the beginning, it was like, what the hell is she doing here? Why does she get all that pressure? What's going on? They were scared, just like I was scared in wrestling. But this is a sport. It's not fake like wrestling. It's a sport, It's about racing.
She just flat told everybody that she wants to be one of the guys and run like the guys do. She don't want to be considered a woman. She just wants to be considered a racer. And she's kept that going the whole time.
She is definitely there to race. And I've seen her in her best, and I've seen her at her worst. She's definitely a full-blooded racer, no doubt about it.
The guys are very competitive, and so am I.
When you run up against her on a line, you better be ready. She's got a good reaction time. If you're sleeping on the line, she's got to get you.
Here comes Medusa!
She doesn't care. Nothing gets in her way.
Skies that wheelie right up there.
When you pull the line, you look over, she's serious. She ain't messing around. She ain't looking away. She's looking at that light. She is dead serious for what she does.
Medusa's got a relationship with her fans because I think number one is she's one of the toughest women in monster truck motorsports out there in America today.
If you're a fan of Medusa's, you got to realize that she's probably a bigger fan of yours. She loves the fans.
Tell us some love. Hug? Hug! Yeah, no picture, no hug. No hug, no picture.
I love children and I love happiness, and And it's great to excel, and it's great to see what you can do. And it's just the way of life. It's like breathing. I see little girls out there with their mom and dads, you know, and the cult following and their red, white, and blue hair, and I've done something. I truly believe I have.
Medusa definitely shows that, and instead of telling little girls that they can do it, she's showing them, listen, you can do whatever you want in any male-dominated sport, business, anything, you can do it, and she's living proof of that.
Girls love her. I mean, we see at the pit parties, the autographs.
Hopefully now that I'm here, being as loud as I am.
When I was stopped right here, I didn't want to quit. I didn't want that bulldozer back there. You know what I wanted? I wanted them to turn my truck back on.
That I have opened up doors.
Medusa had raced monster trucks for over 4 years, and at the end of nearly every season, found herself at the pinnacle of monster truck events, the Monster Jam World Finals.
They make the turn. Medusa has a little problem. It's gonna be Scott Hartsock.
In March of 2004, Medusa clawed her way back to the finals. Only this time, she wasn't just a rookie. She was a contender.
I envision myself winning the World Finals one day. I will.
We prepare for this World Finals all year round, and only the lucky 16 gets to be here.
Freestyle competition at the World Finals is big and it's bad, and she wasn't scared. She was right there with everybody.
I ran really good. I feel good. The truck is tight. I'm tight with the truck, and there wasn't any problems.
In the years past, she's been close and closer and closer, and every year she even got closer. This year, she pulled it off. She's come a long way. I mean, look where she is today. Freestyle champion, one of the 3 freestyle champions in the 2004 World Finals.
Once again a champion, a Monster Jam World Freestyle Champion. Following her hard-fought victory, Medusa returned to her home in Florida to recharge and reflect.
She's kind of a real homebody when I am away from the entertainment life. It's quality time. I mean, you're just in the hustle and bustle. I mean, I've been on the road for over 20 years living out of a bag. I don't know anything from my house to the car to the airport to the rent-a-car to the hotel to the stadium. That's my life. I love animals, so I love to be with my animals. It gives me a sense of serenity. Just being alone is, because I'm with millions of people all the time, and I meet so many people that I cherish the time I do have. And I mean, if it's mowing my yard, I have a good time, you know, or if I'm gardening or just any of that. To me, that's my cherished free time. That's how I like to spend my time. I have my own mind. I make my own decisions, and I always have, and I'm real. Even though I've been in the entertainment business for so long, that I have not got lost of who I am, where I've come from.
Considering her troubled past, Medusa had no choice but to look forward to a brighter future. And while her positive attitude and inner drive has made the future a reality, her journey is not yet over.
You can't tell what the future holds for Medusa, and I don't even think the future knows what it holds. I don't think the future's ready for Medusa.
There's endless possibilities for her. She could do anything that she sets her mind out to do.
The future for Medusa, the sky's the limit.
I see Medusa creating direction for other people, giving direction, giving orders.
Her goal was only going to be higher and higher.
Every accomplishment that I've done, I've accomplished them because I've been happy with it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have accepted it.
Everything she got, she worked for it. Everything she has, she deserves. She's earned it.
The very same drive that has made her larger than life is the very same drive that pushes her forward today.
She has the strength, the knowledge, the ability, the positive look on life. And she can go forward and have absolutely anything that she wants.
She'll always be busy, like her grandmother. She won't, I don't care if she's financially set for life, she'll still do something that suits her.
I think she's really accomplished a lot. I'm very proud of her.
My hero. This is my hero.
Medusa has come a long way in a short time. the way things began might have broken a lesser person, but not Medusa.
There are some things that I wish I could have done different, but I don't have any regrets.
For her, the opposite is true. Medusa has excelled because of the way her life began.
My past has made me an extraordinary, loving person, and has made me a very whole person and true. And just through all the adversity and overcoming all of that, and I'm glad I did. You know, honestly, I just don't think I would change everything. I like who I am.